There is a specific kind of tired that has nothing to do with sleep. You know this feeling intimately. You work hard and you set the goals. You put in the hours while the rest of the world sleeps, but the breakthrough you were promised never seems to arrive. It feels as though you are driving with the emergency brake pulled tight. I am here to tell you that this is not a lack of effort because you do not have a motivation problem. You have a biological problem. Before we dive deeper, I want to plant a seed in your mind. There is something hidden from the public. It was discovered not in a motivational book, but deep inside a highly classified laboratory. It is a biological secret funded by elite billionaires and verified by top-tier neuroscience, and it finally explains something I know you have felt for years. It explains the frustrating gap between the wealth you visualize and the reality you wake up to. I will reveal exactly what this is before we finish today. But first, you must understand why the financial deck was stacked against you from birth. Hold this question in your mind. What if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? The answer will change everything you thought you knew about success. Look around you. The world is full of men who wish for wealth. They hope for success, and they beg for a lucky break. But the universe does not respond to beggars, because it only responds to commanders who take absolute control over their own reality. Society teaches you to burn yourself out chasing money. Millions of men work themselves into an early grave and still die broke. You have read the books. You have tried to think and grow rich. You practice manifestation, and you try the law of attraction. But the wealth never materializes in your bank account, leaving you feeling like you missed a hidden chapter. You work tirelessly in the hustle culture, but you watch the 1% attract money and opportunities with zero apparent effort. Deep down, you know the work hard and get rich advice is a lie. The game is completely rigged against the drifter. Your life is not chaotic because you lack time. It is chaotic because you lack order. Deep within the architecture of your subconscious mind, there is an outdated script running on a continuous loop. It is quietly sabotaging every conscious step you take toward wealth, and until you rewrite that script, every empire you try to build will collapse. You are fighting a ghost. You experience constant mental fog and severe anxiety around your endless bills. This blocks the intuitive ideas and sharp decision-making that billionaires naturally possess. You believe deeply you are meant for greatness and a life of total abundance. But you feel your internal wealth magnet has been forcefully switched off by the relentless stress of modern survival, leaving you completely exhausted and drained. It is time to wake up. Here is the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the 1% and leaves the rest struggling is not hard work. It is not because they visualize better, and it certainly is not because they have stronger discipline than you do. It is entirely biological. Deep inside your brain is a tiny region called the hippocampus. This is the true center of your power. In the insanely wealthy, this region is thick and highly developed. It is constantly broadcasting a microscopic frequency that pulls money and luck toward them like a giant vacuum. But for the average person, the reality is much darker, because you were not born into an 8-figure family. You inherited a massive biological disadvantage. Science calls it a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a wealth frequency, your brain is trapped broadcasting a survival wave, and the modern world is heavily designed to keep it exactly that way. Every time you stress over endless stacks of bills, this tiny region shrinks a little more, and your natural ability to attract abundance is pushed deeper into dormancy. It is a vicious cycle of invisible mental limitation. This is exactly why you can read every self-help book with absolutely zero results. You are trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly, while the elite simply let it flow to them effortlessly because their receiver is fully awake. It is a biological block passed down from generation to generation. It is quietly sabotaging your highest potential every single day. Most people will go to their graves believing they just did not work hard enough. They accept the weak identity of the drifter. But you are not most people. You are a creator. The gap between your current bank account and the life of the 1% is not poor financial planning, but a dormant microscopic brainwave that the elite are born with. You cannot outwill a misprogrammed mind. You must step up as the mental gatekeeper of your own reality. You must refuse to let a negative thought decide your future. The drifter lets society dictate his fate, but the creator forces reality to bend to his disciplined will without hesitation. You belong to the 1% who refuse to surrender. Remember the crucial question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago? The one about whether your struggle was just a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? You are about to see that the answer is not only scientifically proven, but it is closer than you could ever imagine. But before we get there, you need to understand the architecture of your own mind. We must tear down the habits of the average man. There are two kinds of men in this world: those who direct their mind and those whose mind directs them. The universe works by precise law and not by a random clock, meaning your thoughts are the key and your destiny is waiting. You must stop waiting for a miracle. Start acting like the sovereign commander of your life. I will show you exactly how. Let us begin with principle 1. How did a man with no education and no money build the largest steel empire in history while the masses starved? It was not a coincidence. He used a specific mental protocol that you can replicate tonight. There is a fundamental law governing this universe. It dictates every outcome you experience. The universe works by precise law and not by a random clock, and this law requires your absolute attention. Your mind is not just a storage device for memories. It is an active biological transmitter. Every thought you generate is a seed. Every action you take is water. And your physical reality is the exact harvest of those seeds. Most men spend their entire lives missing this truth. They believe wealth is something you must aggressively chase. But wealth is never chased, because it is always naturally magnetized by a mind operating on a highly specific and disciplined frequency. You do not get what you want in this life, you get exactly what you are. If you broadcast a frequency of desperation, the universe will simply multiply that exact lack because it is a mirror reflecting your dominant mental state. This is where we see the ultimate divide. There is a sharp contrast between the drifter and the creator. You must decide which one you are today. The choice is completely yours. The drifter is a professional consumer of circumstances. He waits for the world to happen to him. He reacts to bad news with intense anger. He reacts to his bills with severe anxiety. His subconscious mind is completely abandoned. Because he fails to stand as the mental gatekeeper, the physical world programs him with a continuous survival wave that keeps him entirely trapped. He lets fear write the entire script of his life. He is a victim of his own neglect. Drifting is the ultimate enemy of abundance. The drifter complains about his lack of resources. He blames the economy or his family history. But a wrong decision is always better than no decision at all. The universe completely ignores the man who refuses to choose. When you drift through your days without a purpose, you signal to reality that you have no destination, and reality responds by giving you nothing. You remain exactly where you are. Now look at the sovereign commander. The creator does not wait for ideal conditions. He initiates action regardless of how he feels. He understands that his subconscious is a tireless contractor. It builds exactly what you instruct it to build right before you fall asleep, working through the dark hours without any hesitation. The Creator gives his subconscious clear instructions. He commands riches through absolute certainty. He leaves absolutely nothing to chance. The Creator operates on a completely different frequency. He treats his thoughts as highly valuable tools. They are not toys to be played with carelessly. Every single thought is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. It is either moving you toward ultimate freedom, or it is quietly reinforcing your invisible bondage while you are entirely unaware. The Creator ruthlessly eliminates any thought that does not serve his empire. He protects his mind at all costs. You might think you are losing your mind right now. You no longer relate to your old friends. You feel deeply isolated from the loud crowds. But here is the truth no one tells you about success. You are not losing your mind at all. You are simply losing your outdated programming. The isolation you feel is a necessary season of growth, and it is the natural process of becoming a true architect of destiny. You are shedding your old skin. We call this the invisible season. It is the time when you are building in complete silence. The drifter hates the invisible season because he needs constant validation. He needs the world to applaud his minor efforts. But the builder finds incredible peace in the silence. He acts as if nothing is impossible. He walks and speaks exactly like a king, even when his bank account is completely empty and the world tells him he is a failure. This is the powerful concept of acting as if. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you wait for the money to arrive before you feel wealthy, you will wait forever. The biological receiver in your brain requires the frequency first. You must generate the emotion of abundance from within to literally switch on your hippocampus and force reality to match your new vibration. It is a biological law that you cannot bypass. Think of your brain as a complex tuning fork. If you strike a tuning fork, it vibrates at a specific pitch. Any similar tuning fork nearby will naturally begin to vibrate at that exact same pitch. Your hippocampus operates on this exact principle of resonance. When it is fully developed and awake, it hums with the frequency of extreme abundance, and it effortlessly pulls in opportunities that match its vibration. You become a living magnetic force. This brings us back to the secret of the Titans. How did the greatest minds in history build wealth so rapidly? They did not rely on physical labor alone. They relied on strict mental alignment. They refused to let the noise of the struggling masses disrupt their internal frequency, choosing instead to guard their focus with absolute ruthlessness. The drifter will hear this and do absolutely nothing, but the master will use this law tonight. You now know the underlying mechanism. The difference between the masses and the elite 1% is not talent. It is not an unfair advantage granted by society. It is the quality of the instructions handed to the subconscious mind. The elite maintain a cold calmness when facing severe adversity. They view all temporary failure simply as data to be collected, and they never internalize a defeat as a permanent state of being. They remain completely emotionally detached. You must adopt this cold calmness today. When a bill arrives, you do not panic. When a setback occurs, you do not complain. You remain perfectly centered in your power. You understand that the physical world is just a delayed reflection of your past thoughts, meaning you must strictly govern what you broadcast today. To change tomorrow, you must shift your energy now. You must become completely unstoppable. This is not just philosophy. That is law. It operates exactly like the force of gravity. It does not care if you believe in it or if you ignore it. It will govern your life regardless of your personal opinions. So you must choose to actively harness it today. You must decide to stop playing the victim to your circumstances, and you must step up to claim your rightful throne as a conscious creator. The entire universe is waiting for your command. Let us look to the example of modern neuroscience. This is where ancient wisdom meets hard clinical data. You might think the law of attraction is just a spiritual concept, but scientists funded by elite billionaires have known the truth for decades. They discovered something completely hidden from the public eye. It explains why your hustle never seems to pay off. The answer is entirely biological. Before we go any further, I have to share a breakthrough that changes everything. Something the elite billionaires have spent vast fortunes to keep strictly hidden. A rogue neuroscientist formerly working on highly classified CIA experiments recently leaked a shocking discovery. He and a team of top-tier researchers found a physical difference in the brain. They located the exact source of human abundance. Clinical magnetic resonance imaging scans revealed a terrifying truth. They looked deep inside the brains of extremely wealthy individuals. They found a highly developed region called the hippocampus. In these billionaires, this tiny area was incredibly thick and active. It continuously broadcasts a microscopic wealth attraction frequency. But in the average struggling person, this region is severely shrunken. Decades of chronic stress and survival mode have literally damaged your brain. Every time you worry about your bills, your hippocampus shrinks a little more. This blocks the intuitive ideas and the natural flow states that billionaires possess. You are trying to force success through sheer willpower alone, while your internal receiver is fundamentally broken. You cannot outwill a misprogrammed mind. The researchers working on those classified CIA experiments confirmed this existence. They proved that this dormant frequency is the true barrier to your success. And they did not stop at simply diagnosing the biological problem. They found a way to wake up that dormant wealth frequency rapidly. They found a way to reverse the devastating effects of a shrunken hippocampus without decades of meditation. They did not achieve this through relentless daily journaling. You do not need to wake up at 4 in the morning to force a hustle mindset. They discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful. It is a precise and perfectly engineered 7-minute acoustic frequency. When listened to quietly, this specific sound wave completely bypasses your conscious mind and directly stimulates that tiny region. This is the science of brainwave entrainment. It targets a 250 million-year-old region of your brain directly. 4 independent neuroscience labs have already verified this exact mechanism. Researchers on the elite campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing this exact brainwave activation right now. They found that once this specific frequency is heard, it forces the brain to stop broadcasting fear. It immediately flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract wealth. It is a completely effortless ritual you can do at home, just 7 minutes a day. And the energetic shift begins the very first time you listen. The builder equips himself with every tool available to secure his empire. The drifter ignores the science and goes back to his exhausting struggle. You must choose your path. Ancient spiritual leaders dating back to 800 BC taught about this internal frequency. They knew about a power that siphons wealth into your life like a vacuum. Leonardo da Vinci and Thomas Edison spent years trying to unravel the mysteries of this exact internal brain power source. Modern neuroscience has finally caught up to what the ancient masters always knew. The universe demands a biological receiver. You cannot manifest a new reality with a broken biological antenna. If you go to sleep in fear, your mind spends the next 8 hours building a reality of scarcity. Your subconscious is a tireless contractor, and it needs the correct acoustic frequency to build your empira. When the hippocampus is activated, you suddenly experience intense mental clarity. The heavy fog of overwhelm vanishes almost instantly. You will begin to make intuitive and effortless decisions every single day. You will know exactly what choice is right for you without second-guessing yourself. An immediate and uplifting shift to a growth mindset takes over your daily life. It replaces decades of heavy self-doubt with unshakable and quiet confidence. You will feel a sudden streak of immense luck breaking through your dark clouds. This is what happens when you finally stop fighting your own biology. The elite keep this hidden because they want you to remain a passive consumer. They profit heavily from your endless hustle and your deep financial anxiety. But this rogue neuroscientist refused to let them keep this biological cheat code hidden from the middle class. He decided to weaponize this clinical knowledge for the 1% who are ready. I will tell you exactly what this specific acoustic tool is called, and I will show you how you can access this exact frequency for yourself before this message ends. That is a promise I will keep because you deserve to know the truth. But before I reveal the name of this tool, there is one final piece of the puzzle you must deeply understand. You must prepare your mind to receive this massive shift. Having the right tool is completely useless if your mind is still cluttered with garbage. A restored frequency can open the door to massive abundance, but your billionaire mindset must still choose to walk boldly through it. Those are two very different things, and they are both incredibly true. We must establish a strict mental ritual to ensure this new frequency holds. The sovereign commander never leaves this to chance. You must learn how to protect your energy from the loud and chaotic masses. Protecting it is only step one, because now you must learn how to multiply it. And that brings us to the crucial practice of cosmic housekeeping and mental discipline. You are about to step into a completely new dimension of power. Get ready to clean your mental house before the new wealth arrives. The real work is about to begin right now. So how do you begin this transformation today? Having the right biological tool is completely useless if your mind is still full of garbage. You must prepare your mental soil before you plant the new seed. This powerful transition requires your absolute and unwavering discipline. The drifter avoids this necessary work because it is deeply uncomfortable, but the true creator demands it from himself every single day. Listen to my voice very carefully right now. For the next 24 hours, you will execute a strict mental detox. This is the sacred practice of cosmic housekeeping. You must ruthlessly cut off anything that feeds your negative survival wave. You must stop watching the negative news broadcasts immediately. Stop arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding your grand vision. Your mental energy is your most valuable currency. Every minute you spend absorbing fear is a minute you spend shrinking your hippocampus. The masses love to consume chaos and complain loudly about their tragic lives. You must let the masses have their endless chaos. You are the mental gatekeeper of your own sacred temple. You must violently protect what enters your subconscious mind every single day. Do not allow their poverty mindset to infect your pure frequency. I command you to write this exact phrase down right now. I am the master of my own focus. Say it aloud until your physical body actually believes the powerful words. This is your first powerful command to the vast universe. You are no longer available for cheap distractions or meaningless drama. You are stepping into a profound dimension of extreme power. And power requires absolute clarity to function properly in this world. Deep confusion is the ultimate enemy of all lasting wealth. Now we must establish your definite chief aim. What is your exact target for the future? You cannot ask the universe for vague things like a little more money. The universe simply does not understand these incredibly vague requests. It only responds to absolute certainty and fierce commands. You must define exactly what your new empire looks like. Write down your specific goal on a piece of paper today. Do not hide your true ambition from the world. If you want a luxury penthouse, you must claim it boldly. If you want total financial freedom, you must declare it without any shame. The drifter is always too afraid to ask for massive things. He falsely thinks he does not deserve extreme abundance in his life. But the Creator knows that immense abundance is his natural birthright. State your highest aim with absolute and ultimate authority. This brings us to the most critical habit of the 1%. We call this practice the highly sacred night ritual. What was the last thought you fell asleep with last night? Was it deep frustration over a very heavy bill? Was it severe anxiety about your upcoming tomorrow? If you go to sleep in fear, you hand your subconscious a blueprint for massive failure. You are literally programming your own devastating defeat while you rest. You must hijack that dangerous cycle starting tonight. 15 minutes before you sleep, you must turn off every single screen. You must fully disconnect from the loud noise of the physical world. Sit in absolute silence and take complete command of your breathing. This is the profound moment you transition from the exhausting hustle into quiet and powerful magnetism. Your overworked brain desperately needs this healing silence. Your subconscious mind is a completely tireless contractor. It builds exactly what you instruct it to before you lose consciousness. If you give it clear instructions of wealth, it will work all night to arrange those circumstances. It will pull those highly lucrative synchronicities directly into your reality. But you must sweep the floor clean before the contractor arrives to work. Do not just listen to this message as simple entertainment. This is a strict protocol for your ultimate survival and domination. The drifter will hear this truth and do absolutely nothing about it. He will return to his invisible mental prison tomorrow morning. But the fierce builder will use this exact ritual tonight. You must decide which one of them you actually are. Make a firm decision right now, because hesitation is the sudden death of destiny. You must say to yourself that the old chapter is finally over. No more small thinking and no more playing the weak victim to circumstances. No more letting deep fear write the script of your daily life. You are the sovereign commander of your new reality. The world has absolutely no choice but to bend to your disciplined mind. Stand up right now and claim your rightfully empty throne. This 24-hour ritual is your incredibly strong foundation. It clears the static noise and repairs your broken biological antenna. But protecting your precious energy is only step number one. Now you must learn how to multiply it massively and continuously. You must equip yourself with the exact acoustic tool used by the greatest masters. You must lock in this high frequency permanently so you never slip back into darkness. Your conscious mind strongly requires strict and daily discipline, but your subconscious mind needs a specific biological protocol to wake up completely. I promise to reveal the exact mechanism discovered by those elite neuroscientists. It is the powerful tool that bypasses all the hard work and directly stimulates your hippocampus. The long time for preparation is finally coming to an end. The sacred time for massive activation is officially here. Stop exactly what you are doing and listen to me. You must truly listen to my voice right now, because the next few minutes will determine whether you spend the rest of your life as a drifter or as a powerful king. The entire universe is closely watching your next move. You have cleared the mental path, and now you must plant the seed of ultimate wealth. Prepare yourself to receive the final key to your absolute freedom. This is exactly where modern neuroscience perfectly meets timeless wisdom. For the man who is ready to accelerate this process, the ultimate answer is incredibly simple. Do not leave your important biological evolution to random chance. The weak masses constantly wait for a sudden miracle to magically save them. The elite 1% use a specific scientific instrument to force reality into complete submission. Let me show you the power of that exact instrument. You have successfully done the difficult inner work today. You deeply understand that what is blocking your wealth is not a lack of fierce ambition. It is simply a biological receiver patiently waiting to be switched on. We are about to cross the final dangerous boundary together. You are one single decision away from incredible financial momentum. You are one deep mental shift away from a completely new and beautiful life. The ultimate truth is finally ready for you to witness. Remember that endless drifting is the ultimate enemy of success. The passive consumer waits and constantly reacts to the changing world. But the true creator decides and initiates massive action every single day. You did not click this video by some random and meaningless accident. You came here as a man utterly exhausted by the heavy drift. But today you have remembered exactly who you truly are. You act independently of fleeting motivation because you are a relentless builder. By tomorrow morning, absolutely everything changes for your future. When you wake up, you will no longer feel the heavy weight of anxiety on your chest. You will wake up as a highly magnetic force of untamed nature. But you must take the final step to secure this new and beautiful reality. The Golden Gateway is standing wide open before your very eyes. Now comes the massive turning point of your entire earthly existence. Do not ever look back at your old and weak self. The question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message is finally here. What if your financial struggle is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be awakened? Here is the final answer. A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in the 1%. It is directly driven by a thick and highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus. Classified CIA research confirmed this biological truth years ago. 4 independent neuroscience labs recently verified it for the public. Researchers on the elite campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing it right now. Dr. Thomas Summers is a rogue New York City neuroscientist who formerly worked on these secret experiments. He utterly refused to let elite billionaires keep this cheat code hidden from the middle class. He and his dedicated team spent years compressing the clinical protocol for hippocampus growth into a simple audio track. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. Emma is a former nurse from California. She felt her family was suffering under a heavy financial curse. She was completely exhausted and drowning in massive debt. After just 3 days of listening, she broke the cycle completely. She quit her draining job and sold her house for way over the asking price. She now travels the world on passive income and shares this immense abundance with her children. Michael is a former policeman in Florida. He started using this protocol to rapidly scale his struggling business. Within 5 days, he quadrupled his high-paying clients. He found himself networking with Palm Beach elites who eventually put him on television. He said the rapid journey was almost effortlessly crazy. That is exactly because of what Dr. Summers and his brilliant researchers discovered. They officially call it the billionaire brainwave. It is not a manifestation app, and it is not a generic motivation tape. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave. It is specifically designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it out of extreme dormancy. That is the entirety of the work required from you. You simply listen for 7 minutes in the morning with your headphones on. You can keep your eyes closed while you sip your morning coffee. You do not journal. You do not repeat forced affirmations. You simply let the precise frequency rewire your entire brain to naturally receive. The billionaire brainwave is absolutely not for everyone. It is specifically built for the chosen visionary who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the man who understands that his lack of wealth is a blocked biological channel. Private neuroacoustic sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. Elite billionaires invest fortunes to access this exact brainwave activation. But that massive financial barrier has been dismantled for you today. What Dr. Summers leaked to the public delivers the exact same neurological shift in 7 short minutes, and it is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. It costs less than a few cups of hot coffee. 4 powerful bonuses are included to deeply support your new reality. The first is a guide to managing massive wealth called the Warren Buffett Pyramid. You also receive a brilliant breakdown of 7 lazy millionaire habits. The third bonus is an emergency quick cash manifestation audio track. The final bonus is an inspiring collection of 500 billionaire success stories to keep your mind securely anchored in abundance. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The immense wealth and opportunities you have been praying for are already circling you right now. The blessing is not missing at all. Your biological receiver is simply broken. The visionary who restores their frequency today finally sees the financial windfalls that were always waiting in their path. Delaying your decision means letting your massive inheritance remain completely invisible. Do not look for this specific frequency on platforms like YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those free platforms have zero binaural entrainment technology properly encoded. They are dangerous fakes meant to actively distract you. The only authentic version is available through the secure link below. This comes with the billionaire's ironclad promise. The universe requires absolutely zero financial risk from you. If you do not experience a physical increase in your wealth and luck, every single penny is quickly returned. It is a pure energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The verified link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The powerful tool is not the final destination. It simply repairs your biological receiver so the immense wealth you visualize can finally materialize. Absolute abundance is your natural birthright. The universe requires no transaction for you to truly deserve it. What the brilliant researchers built is just one accelerator. Whether you choose that specific path or not, let us go deeper into preparing your powerful mind. You must be mentally prepared to receive the massive opportunities the universe will immediately send your way. If your deep intuition confirms that the frequency tool described earlier is the missing key to your abundance, the secure path remains open in the description below. That is the final time I will ever mention it today. What remains right now is your ultimate mental transformation. The exhausting time for drifting is officially over. You have clearly heard the universal law. You now deeply know that every excuse you have ever made was nothing but a fleeting shadow. Tonight, as you finally close your eyes, you must make a critical choice. Will you return to the endless chaos of the struggling masses? Or will you boldly step into the quiet power of the 1%? You must decide right now. If you are truly ready to command your destiny, you must seal your final decision tonight. Write your definite purpose in the comments below. Let those powerful words be the sacred contract you sign with the infinite universe. Subscribe to this channel if you choose to walk this path of power. Return to this video every night until your new reality completely bends to your iron will. You are the true architect of your own destiny.